Richard Herzinger from Die Welt. Thank you very much for this really very interesting and enlightening lecture. My question is very simple. The key to the situation in Afghanistan, you said, is negotiating with the Taliban. What makes you think that you would find Taliban who want to negotiate? And what makes you think that they think they need to have to, they do have to negotiate, seeing themselves as the future victors after the retreat of NATO?
I can give you a whole list of reasons. A lot of them is to do with exhaustion, tiredness, etc. But 3 or 4 major things, I think, which have dawned on the Taliban in recent years. Number one is they do not want an extension of the civil war for another 10 years, because certainly if they go for an all-out victory after the Americans withdraw, it will mean a civil war for endless years. Secondly, they know that they can't win a civil war, because this is not the northerners of 10 years ago. This is a north that is economically, when I say the north, I mean the Uzbeks, the Tajiks, the other ethnic groups who live in northern Afghanistan. They're economically much more prosperous than the south. They have international support. They are well armed, they're trained, and they're determined to stop the Taliban. So this is not a civil war that they can win, and they realize that. And I think the other major reason is that they also have repeatedly, in privately at least, and told many of their interlocutors that, and they conveyed this to me also, that they really do not see themselves as competent enough to govern. Now, we knew that back in 1993 when the Taliban first emerged, and we knew it even in 2000 when the country was on the verge of starvation, the economy had collapsed, and Afghans were fleeing to Pakistan and Iran again, 9 months before 9/11. And the Taliban were in the doghouse. The population was hating them, not because of the Islamic thing, but because of the economy. So the Taliban know that they are not competent. Much better do a deal with the Americans, get some power-sharing deal with Karzai or whoever it is, and make sure that aid continues, that the Taliban have some a political presence in the areas where they want to have a political control, and that the aid and support that the West is giving Afghanistan will continue. Because otherwise, a Taliban government knows fully well that what they will face is within 6 months, they will lose total support of the public. They will not be able, all the Westerners will walk away, the NGOs will walk out, the UN, this is what happened in 2000, in 1999 and 2000. So I think, and fourthly, I would say the Taliban are really fed up with this label of being Pakistan's stooges. And there's enormous resentment growing in the Taliban against the manipulation of Pakistan. There's enormous resentment growing against their fellow Afghans who consider them not as the nationalist saviors of Afghanistan fighting this foreign occupation of the Americans and NATO, but as stooges of Pakistani intelligence. And they want to get rid of the stigma. And the only way they can get rid of the stigma is not continuing the civil war, but actually trying to broker a peace.